The timing of that was incredible. And Jimmy said, yeah, brother, it was the top of the mountain. Just imagine. I mean, I go to Hawaii with one half of the Islanders, Steve Offie. He sees me and he says, you could probably be all right. So he teaches me, and I met Don Morocco. And Don said, well, what are you going to do here? You can do a few moves, but you're never going to learn anything. Go somewhere. Go do something. He said, call these guys. And so I called up Todd Gordon, and he booked me on a few shows, and then Tommy D. And meantime, I get to the first show. I'd only worked once. And I went up to Superfly and I go, hey brother, man, I'm from Hawaii. I just brought some all these different like candies and stuff from Hawaii that, not candies, but they're called pupus, but really they're snacks. And they go good with beer and stuff, right? And Jimmy's like, wow, brother, man, lava and the slippers. And I said, brother, man, I really don't know anything. If you could help me out, I really appreciate it. So the angle came, and I, fed him 3-4 times, and I kept feeding him, and I'm really not supposed to because that's not what was called for, but I wanted to anyway because it was Superfly, right? So I go flying out. So he invites me back to the room, and he had food waiting there, The promoter took care of him with fruit, food and stuff, beer, and we sat, we talked, because I'm from Hawaii, I brought him all this stuff. And he said, wait a minute, didn't I meet you once down in Hawaii? I said, yeah, at the World's Gym. He said, yeah. So he says, how many years have you been in? I said, bro, I'm not kidding. This is my second match. He goes, what? I go, no, this is my second match. I had one match with Farmer Boy Ipo on Maui. Farmer Boy Ipo used to be in the WWF years ago as a mid-card guy. Like a Johnny Rodz, mid-card, strong mid-card, boom, build up. So he goes, what? You're kidding me. He said, who taught you how to hit once and walk around? And I said, you, Superstar, Billy Graham. He goes, brother, man, I swear, I've never been fooled before, but you fooled me. I was like, why? I didn't do anything. He goes, that's what I'm talking about. All these kids today were running around. Back then, they were starting to run around. Look at Triple H, how his work is the same as I first saw him when he was still up at, when I first broke in, and Saturn and all them guys were up in Massachusetts, and Jimmy took me up to Massachusetts.
Killer,
He took me everywhere. Where Killer Kowalski. And Killer was the referee all the time, when he could still go, and he was such a nice man. But get back to Jimmy and Don, I mean, and then, come on, be Jimmy's friend, Don's friend, King Curtis's friend. That's a gift right there, and Steve Offie's, that's a gift. But then you're going to talk about hanging out with Don, going to the beach and listening to stories about Japan or here or there or Vince or, this building or that building or, all the, Australia or New Zealand. These are stories you're never going to hear on a shoot video, stuff that he's not going to really like. And you learn. And then to be with Jimmy, I mean, it's like you want to be Superman or Batman when you're a kid, and then all of a sudden you meet the guy. Now, you can't be the guy, but the closest you can get is to be in there. Now, the only thing I said earlier that was absolutely true is that I've had 750 matches, literally, and that's not a joke. Everywhere Jimmy went, he insisted that I was on those trips, and if he wasn't there, he would say, I'm not going. And then he eventually learned to trust me, and he knew, he knew that I could make phone calls, I was good on the phone, and I could, he heard how I booked my trips back to Hawaii when he would take off and go home to see his family. Every 8-10 weeks, I'd go home to Hawaii. And he said, man, you do this really good. You know all the promoters already. Why don't you do this for me? I'll take it off my wife's hands, I'll give it to you. Sweet. Makes it easier on her, and you go do it. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, everywhere, package deal. I'm in the business freaking 6 months. Come on. This is like swallowing a grand piano. Do you get this?
Oh, I'm swallowing a grand piano now, bro.
picture yourself in this position.
Right.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Who do you know who could tell you that story like that? How it just happened like that?
People don't understand this industry and what it's all about unless you're in it.
I used to carry Jimmy's bag out of respect, Polynesian style. Most people thought, there's been people on the internet that said, oh, he was Jimmy's chauffeur. Let me tell you something. If that's what I was, which I wasn't, if that's what I was the best damn chauffeur ever. Bodyguard or booker, or agent, or cook, bottle washer, car cleaning, gas and driving, whatever. It's the old school. You carry the brother's bag. Not because you're a piece of garbage.
It's respect.
It's respect. And I remember on my first trip overseas, Mondo Guerrero put me aside and says, hey kid, you know, you're a good kid. I see you. When we go to eat, you make Jimmy's food first. I said, yeah, but that's Hawaiian style. That's respect. I'm from New Jersey, but when I went down there, you learn Polynesian style, not just Hawaiian, Tongan, Samoan, Fijian. It's all about respect. You don't act up. If you do, serious, man. That's some serious stuff. Don't mess with the Polynesian people, man. They're kind, they're sweet. You make the wrong move. And I learned right away, I wasn't some dummy that needed to fight out the hard way. I fell in love with the whole culture, and Jimmy just perpetuated that culture. He never changed the way he spoke from the island to here. Don Morocco could speak great pidgin, but he doesn't use it in wrestling. He was doing Curtis. You know, and himself and Curtis, because Curtis was the best talker other than Superstar, but his was Curtis.
When I met Billy Graham for an autograph session, I walked over and I said, "You were the first guy," because I was always for the faces,
right?
And I'm still, even now, I'm a face. And I said, "You're the first guy that ever made me root for the heel. Even up against Ivan Putski, even up against Dusty Rhodes."
You're talking about Don.
I'm talking about Billy Graham.
Oh.
Don, I wanted to see. No, Don, I wanted to see him get his hit.
Face, even though he was a heel, he sold like a baby face.
Yeah.
He acted like a baby face, but he did. He acted like it, but he did.
Right. He was
the best.
Oh, man,
love Jimmy. Don't get me wrong, but Superstar.
I met Jimmy. The last time I saw Jimmy was at an event 2 weeks after his 72nd birthday. Now I met, and then in December he got January. It was like 2 months later was when he got a little ill. And I've seen him 4 or 5 times, and the last time I saw him, he remembered me. He remembered me as a fan. And I'm not making this up, and he wasn't making it up.
No, Jimmy had a good long-term memory, but by then his short-term memory was going. But his long-term memory was very good.
He told me where we were, what town, what event, and what was going on. And all I did to him was, "Happy birthday, brother." And he turned around and gave me a big hug.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't expect him to remember my name. I walked over, "It's David. How are you?" He's like, "Yeah, man, things are going good."
Easy to remember a name like David for Jimmy. Jimmy, people don't realize Jimmy was a pretty religious guy.
Yeah.
I mean, with everything that anyone's ever said about him, they really don't know. They think they know, they don't.
He was in WrestleMania. He headlined WrestleMania.
He was the one that jump-started it all. As a matter of fact, he was the one that was supposed to be in the ring with, instead of Mr. T, if you remember, and then all of a sudden they overnight switched it somehow.
Yeah.
Well, that was because Jimmy was unhappy and wanted to leave right after, because, you know, his weeks were, I'll tell you, Jimmy's words were, "Brother, they were $40,000 weeks, not 20. And then it became 20. And then the bigger the buildings got, the less the money was. And eventually I had to say, I'm sorry. I'll put you on the map. You got the USA channel from me and Don. And, you know, the money's getting lighter and the shows are getting bigger. And you know, then that's not good either. But he should have went and said, listen, I'd like more money. Instead of saying, hey, Vince, I'm not coming.
Well, that was Jimmy.
But, you know, Jimmy only knew, you know, he felt he was being taken advantage of. Now, if you do that to the Polynesians, that's what's going to happen. You're not going to get the feather. You're going to get the hammer.
Well, I know when
You can't do it. You can't do what you just want to do. You have to. Jimmy really felt like he was, disrespected. And I don't blame him in the sense that he worked hard. And
is everything cleaned up?
After the splash, you do understand now. After the splash, the next morning, he was on the USA Net. They were on signed on the USA Network. So very important to remember that.
Renee, thank you, bro. I much appreciated. Listen, Jeff.
The Metal Maniac.
The Metal Maniac. Friends of ours through Miss Sinful. Can you give a shout out to her? Just say hello.
Hey, Marie, love you. Be careful with that neck. She's got bad.
She just
bad
had
neck
surgeries.
Problems. Yeah, she had surgeries, and I've had that surgery, cervical spinal fusion. But she's had some other gimmick surgery that really I would have told her no, don't do it.
Okay.
Get another one. But I want her to be healthy and happy. That's all that matters to me. That she's healthy and happy.
So now that you're back in here, you're going to be around the area?
I'm going to be staying in New Jersey for the next 15 months. We're going to be doing some major fundraising for St. Jude's Cancer Research Center.
Excellent.
And I've put together a program that with a family-oriented wrestling program and St. Jude's, and we're gonna raise some funds, make make some money for them, and at the same time we're gonna promote some shows, and
are you gonna?
We're gonna have a good one and have fun.
Are we gonna see you next week?
You're talking in Brooklyn?
Yes.
Absolutely. Because remember now, I have unfinished business to attend to. Mr. Ridley, Gino Caruso.
You don't want to talk into the mic. You're tapping.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ridley, Gino Caruso. We had a match tonight. There was people there that really were not my cup of tea, and that took away from the reality of the fact that I wasn't paying attention to him, and he took advantage of that. And let's face it, he won.
The people got.
Listen, shut up. Who asked you to talk? I'm talking to a nice Jewish boy over here. All right, we don't need to talk to you. I gave you a piece of pizza. All right.
I did. Yeah.
I
Well,
could have gave you my
Subway's
shoe.
closed at this point.
All right.
I can't get my sandwich.
So you got a rematch next week again with Gino?
I don't know. No, he ain't gonna want a rematch with me.
Come on, help him out, guys. Devin, please.
All right. Well,
right.
listen. Thank you for having me on the program. I want you to tell everybody that keep watching, watch the show, and find out. If you go, you hear somebody's website or you hear somebody's Facebook, go on there, friend them, let them know. Hey, I saw the thing. Send a message. We'll let you get in there.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, and it'll be fun, and we'll talk some more.
From In the Ring with the Fat Man and the Jew, I'm Dave Klein.
The Jew, Dave Klein. And what's your name, Chubby
Sean
Dummy?
Kaz.
And Sean Kaz, he's got more chins at a Chinese restaurant. He's so big and fat, he got to iron his shorts in the driveway. Wow. Oh, yeah.
Be there.
Be square, bye-bye.